Okay, so in the last video we were exploring the structure of a basic C program. We spoke about two things that we must have. That is the SDIO preprocessor directive and your main function. And we said that if you omit these two basic things, your main function is going to have a hard time running. Yes, we have our main function, we have our preprocessor directive and our main function. These are the two basic things that we need, and our return zero is part of our main function, so that's why I didn't mention it. Now there's also one part I would like to speak about, and that is the compile log. The compile log gives us information about compile errors. These are basically errors that occur during compilation. Here, if we make any syntax errors that elude us, and I'll show you the compile log, it's just here. So this is the compile log. If you make any syntax errors that elude us when we are manually checking our source code, so for example, when I'm done writing my program, I'll check my source code for any errors. But if, let's say, I forgot about the semicolon here, that amounts to syntax error. Now let me clear this. This is not supposed to be part of the code. So we have a syntax error in our code, and it has eluded us. It's going to show us what type of error it is and the line it was made at. So enough talking, and let's try and see. So first, what we are going to do is that before we get our program on, we are supposed to compile. So I'll click compile, and GCC is going to compile, and see it catches the error. So it tells us here in function main, that means in the main function, error, that's the syntax error, expected a semicolon before the curly brace token, the last closing curly brace. So meaning that there should have been a semicolon before that curly brace. So we put a semicolon there, we save our source file, compile, and it compiles. 0 errors, 0 warnings, and it's done. So to see our program, we just click run, and it runs. You see. So in the last section, I spoke about the return value. See, so it gives us the return value 0, meaning that our program ran successfully from the top to the bottom with no errors. Everything was good. So if there was an error, sometimes when there is an error that is not exactly a syntax error, we call it perhaps a logical error. Yes, a logical error. You see that your return value will be something different. It will be a huge number, meaning that there is something wrong, right? Okay. So enough talking, let's get our program to output something. Then since that's the basic operation of a C program, output and input, we'll do some output. We'll talk about something called variables, then we'll do input. So let's do output. So to output something, we are going to use a function from the standard input output library. Now this function is for outputs, right? Every function we write in C, when we are using the function in our main function, we say we are calling that function, right? We are calling, and it's one of the output functions. So we are calling an output function called printf. Now what I've just done here is a comment, right? It's a comment. It allows us to document our code so that, let's say I write a program for someone, right, and I'm done writing, I hand it over to the customer I'm writing the program for, or the customer I'm writing the software for. Now let's say something happens to me, I'm not around, and a different developer or programmer has to come and review my source code and make sure that and try to improve it or something. He's going to rely on the documentation provided in the source code to understand how everything works and make it better. So that's why we use comments. So I just put a comment here so that you understand what I'm doing in the next line. So calling an output function, if when you want to make a comment, use the double slash like this, or you can also use a slash, a star, and that one you must close it with another star and a slash like this, right? Okay, so we can just use that for multi-line comments. We can use it for just a comment on one line. Okay, so let's output something. Now, when we are outputting, normally when we want to output um a word or something in English or a written something, we use what we call a string. So anything we are writing in quotes is called a string. Now I'll explain more later as we go on. So let's say hello world. That is a string, and then we add a semicolon. Everything we want to run in our main function, remember I told you, has to end with a semicolon. So we save this, compile, no errors, run, and our program is running here, return value 0, and it's printing out hello world. So that is a basic C program to show outputs. So in the next session we are going to look at more on this, and thank you very much.